All right, here I am with your long-awaited Q&A video. Just a few questions, but a lot of them are kind of require a lot of explanation, so I'm going to try to explain in the best way that I can things in a concise manner, so this video doesn't run out to be 30 minutes. So yeah, here we go. The first question that I had was regarding snacks. What are good snacks to eat throughout your day if you're trying to lose weight? I'm not a big snacker. I typically eat 4 meals a day. And that's what I choose to do. You can do things that way, or if you're a person that you need to eat every 2 to 3 hours or whatever the case may be, you need snacks. I have written down a few snacks that I think would be good choices. I have Greek yogurt written down. One of my favorites are the Light and Fit Greek yogurt. They are 80 calories and they have a substantial amount of protein as opposed to the standard yogurts like the Yoplait yogurts, which have a tendency to be really heavy in sugar. So that's where most of the calories come from. In the Greek yogurt, they're sugar-free because they use artificial sweeteners. Let's just be real. They have some sugars in them, but not as many as the Yoplait. So I really shouldn't have said sugar-free. Whatever. Other snack ideas could be carrots, cucumbers, maybe a small green salad of some sort. I know Ryan likes to snack on those little grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. He just eats them. My only caution would be with if you choose to do vegetables as your snack is to not, just go crazy with fat-laden dressings like ranch, blue cheese, Thousand Island, things of that nature. You would be much better off using a vinegar-based dressing or just using salt and vinegar by themselves. That's really good. Also, some good choices are obviously fruit. My only caution with fruit is that if you're like me, I can eat a lot of calories in fruit because I absolutely love fruit. And for me, I can never get full when it comes to fruit. So I have to portion that out accordingly or I'll eat too much. Rice cakes are also a good example. They make the little crisps or whatever, and it'll be like 100 calories for 30 chips or something. And you just count out the chips and eat that as a snack. They also pop chips. If you've not tried pop chips, those things are amazing. They have ones that are comparable to Doritos and all different types of flavors. So check those out. You'll eat them and you're like, how is eating this whole bag only 300 calories? And it is a full-size bag. Not that anyone should eat the whole thing, but, if it fits your macros, right? No. If you can fit it into your day, then do it. That's what I say. I think string cheese is also a good one for people who just like to have a little snack here and there. String cheese is going to be lower in fat. Obviously, it's no carbohydrates at all, and it's mostly just a stick of protein, to be honest with you. I would recommend going with the yogurt or string cheese, mostly because protein is going to keep you satisfied longer than a carbohydrate or a fat will. That's just because it takes longer for your body to digest it. So if you eat 300 calories in grapes, you're going to be hungrier much sooner than if you ate 300 calories in protein. The next question is there a science to this calorie counting hell? The answer to that is yes, there is. The 2 tools that you need for calorie counting, if you're going to calorie count, is a database online. Free ones are fatsecret.com and myfitnesspal.com are 2 of them that are really good that I know of that are free. And the second tool you're going to need is a scale, a digital scale. I want to do a video in the future to show the reason why weighing your food when you're calorie counting is important. Because if you're looking for precision, it's important, because it is very easy to pack more food into measuring cups and measuring spoons than you think. It's more exact if you use a digital scale. So that's what I recommend, because it is what it is at that point. I have my phone sitting on a container of oatmeal right now, and it says for a half a cup dry, it's 40 grams. Well, in a half a cup, I've scooped out a half cup, leveled it off, and it'll be 48 grams. You're like, okay, big woohoo, 8 grams. But if you do that with everything, it adds up, and before you know it, you've eaten 50 to 100 calories more that day than what you need, and, you know, then that's going to reflect in your progress. So I'm meticulous like that. So if you're type A, get a digital scale. If it's really not that big of an issue for you, then don't use measuring cups. But I'm just saying that it's not as exact as is using a scale. Also, let's see, how do you know exactly how many calories you are burning versus what you're taking in? This one's tricky, and this is where it gets a little tedious. Is I recommend going to one of the calculators, and the calculator that I recommend for people is at iifym.com. That stands for If It Fits Your Macros. I like their calculator. And you can just go in there and plug in your information. It's going to ask for your gender, your height, your weight, your activity level. And it's going to base how many calories you need per day depending on your goal. If your goal is to lose weight, it's going to give you 3 different areas that you can choose from if you want to be cautious, if you want to be, use suggested, and then the bottom one is called, they call it reckless. And depending on your goal, it's going to have how many calories you need to eat in whichever radio button that you select. Just go there, and it's really easy and self-explanatory. If I sit here and try to explain it to you, I'm probably going to make it sound complicated, and it's not. So just go there, check it out. That figures it all out for you. Then when you get that number, take that number and use it for 4 weeks and see what happens. You should never be aiming for a goal to lose more than 2 pounds per week. I'd say 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds per week is a good place to start for most people, unless you're someone who is obese or morbidly obese, and then they have a tendency to be able to lose more weight without it being quite so unhealthy, because they have so much extra fat on their body. It just it does. Usually the weight loss comes from fat stores as opposed to like a leaner person, and most of us are leaner people who want to lose like 10 to 20 vanity pounds. It's not good to lose more than 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week, because then you start burning your muscle, and that is not the goal ever. Should never be a goal of anyone's to burn muscle. So, that's that. So that's a good way to know how many you're burning and how many you're taking in. No, you're going to calculate how many you're taking in, and you're just going to depend on the number that calculator gives you, and based on your activity level as to how many calories you burn doing whatever it is that you do. And do that for 4 weeks. At the beginning of that 4 weeks, take your weight, take your measurements. Measure at your neck, measure at your waist, and your hips at minimum. I would also suggest measuring each bicep and each thigh. And then at the end of the 4 weeks, you're going to remeasure. I wouldn't suggest weighing yourself any more than once a week. If you're just starting out, just stay off the scale and eat that way for 4 weeks consecutively, and then reweigh yourself and retape yourself and see where you're at. And if you haven't lost anything, then if losing weight is your goal, if you haven't lost anything, no inches, no weight, then drop your calories down. Go down by like 100 calories per se. And do that again for 4 weeks and see how that works for you. At some point you should have lost something. If you're not, it's probably because you're not calculating your calories correctly. Sorry. Ryan is messaging me right now because I've been ignoring him, and he doesn't know that I'm shooting a video. So he's throwing up all these little cute, look, you guys see. Oh, hang on. There we go. I don't know. Can you see these little cute faces? I don't know. You probably can't see that anyway. That's not even what you're watching this video for. Okay. So, and then the last, well, not the last question, but another question. I'm getting over a cold. The last question that I had in this particular set of questions was, is there anything else I should be counting other than calories? And simple answer, no. There are some things that I caution people against, and that is making sure you're counting your calories and everything that you drink. Just because you chew it, just because you do not chew it, doesn't mean it doesn't count. So that's your coffee creamers, your sodas that you drink, juice, sweet tea, anything like that. And I don't even know how to begin to tell you how to count sweet tea. I don't. So definitely make sure you're counting the calories that are in your drinks. Some people, once they get further along in sculpting their body or whatever that they get into paying attention to. Like, for instance, myself, I pay attention to the amount of protein I take in and the amount of fat and carbohydrates. The protein I take in is a little higher right now because I'm dieting, so I don't like to feel hungry. And so the more protein that I have, the less hungry I'm going to be. I need to make sure that my carbohydrates are at a moderate level, because weightlifting and then the cardio that I do take a lot out of me too. And of course, fats, you need fat for hormone regulation, yada, yada, yada. So I like to typically keep my protein usually is about 40% of my calories. Carbohydrates are usually at about 30% of my calories. And then my fats can be anywhere from 25 to 30. Typically it's usually between 20 or 30, I should say. And I like to stay below 30 because I like to have more room for carbohydrates and when I'm dieting. Because that's where your energy comes from, people. That's where your energy comes from. Oh, next question was, I had a question regarding blood pressure and how to lower your blood pressure naturally. And I have to say a disclaimer right now in the fact that I am not a medical doctor, so I don't have any training or any education in medicine. And this particular person who asked about the blood pressure, lowering their blood pressure, is currently on blood pressure medication. So with that, I do recommend asking your doctor about maybe supplementing in fish oil to see. Fish oil will lower your blood pressure, point blank period. I don't really care what a doctor says. I know that for a fact that fish oil lowers your blood pressure. So maybe talk to your doctor about how you can supplement with fish oil, given the level of dosage of medication that you're on currently. And he or she can give you advice in that manner, because I can't tell you how much fish oil to take, because I don't know I don't know anything about medicine. Even if you told me how much blood pressure medicine you took, I'd be like, okay, well, great, but I don't even know what to do with that, because I'm not trained in medicine. Just like your doctor is not trained in fitness or nutrition for the most part, they're trained in medicine. Medical doctors study medicine, not so much health. So with that also, when it comes to asking me about exercises that you can do, not just with the blood pressure, but this is with any health condition whatsoever. Before I can give any advice on the type of exercises you should be doing or that you could be doing, or before I can recommend anything, I need you to talk to your doctor and find out what your limitations are. Your doctor might say something like, well, I don't want you doing any exercises in the supine or the prone position, or I don't want you doing any multi-joint exercises. I don't want you doing any exercises that cause spinal compression. I don't want, or focus on single joint exercises, things of that nature. They may give you a broad spectrum. And then you take that, what you do with that information is you take that information back to your fitness professional, and then based off the guidance that your doctor has given for your particular situation, the fitness professional can then design a program fit for you. That's the safest way to do it for yourself, and that's the safest way for a trainer to make sure that you are not going to hurt yourself. So, yeah, with that, any type of medical condition, please always consult your doctor first, because they know all of your personal information. They know your medical history, and they know about medicine, and I do not. So, back to the blood pressure. I wish my thoughts were organized. I'm all over the place, but the blood pressure, definitely talk to your doctor about a fish oil supplementation and where you should start. In my opinion, if he says that you don't need to do that, then I would suggest finding a different doctor, because you need a doctor who's willing to work with you towards going towards more natural methods. Because if a doctor doesn't want you to get better, because blood pressure is 100% curable, high blood pressure is, then I don't think that doctor has your best interest in mind. I think that doctor wants to keep writing you prescriptions for medication because they have a vested interest. That is my opinion. And it will never change, I'm sure. Also, for blood pressure or type 2 diabetes, which no one's asked about that, but if you were to ask about that, I would say one of the first places you want to start is with your diet. Just cleaning up your diet. Don't count a calorie. Don't count anything. Just focus on a really high whole foods diet, and getting away from the processed foods as much as possible. Eating your lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, things of that nature. Just do that for a while, and you will see tremendous changes in your health, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your energy level, mental clarity. Everything is going to get better just by changing your diet. And then, as to not overwhelm yourself, start with your diet first, and then put yourself into a fitness program of some sort based off the recommendations of your doctor. yeah, start a fitness program. I don't want to say don't start a fitness program if you're not willing to change your diet, but as I think everyone should exercise. I think everyone can get benefit from exercise regardless as to what they eat, because exercise is good for you and you should move your body because that's what your body's made to do. But diet is so important. Diet is going to be what makes or breaks your fitness program, you know. So start there. That's my advice, and then see what happens. I don't know. This is my first Q&A video in the history of life, so I probably didn't do that great. I did my best, and if there's any more questions or if I've confused anybody, let me know, and I'll be happy to come back and clarify, or, you know, if I said something incorrect, please feel free to point that out, and I'll retract my statement if I am wrong, because it happens a lot. Anyway, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this now. I'm going to talk to Ryan so he doesn't think I hate him. Anyway, any more questions? Feel free to ask. We're here for you. Bye.